IVM.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into a show about crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
Here's your smart fact of the day. Do you know what a cargo cult is? It's a very interesting phenomenon. Now, I will not get too much into the details of what it is from a theoretical or academic perspective, but let me just give you what it stood for and how it started. Now, there were a lot of isolated and pre-industrial island cultures that were lacking technology. They found soldiers and supplies arriving suddenly in large numbers, often by airdrop. This typically happened in wars like World War I, II, etc. After the war, the soldiers departed. In the meantime, they would trade with the islanders and stuff like that, give them what goodies they had. This, made people actually behave differently on the island. Cargo cults arose attempting to imitate the behavior of the soldiers, the soldiers who have departed, thinking this would cause the soldiers and their cargo to return. Some cult behaviors involve the mimicking of day-to-day activities and dress styles of soldiers, such as performing parade, ground drills with wooden and salvaged rifles. Now, you might laugh at this, but I believe that sometimes whenever we are working or we are part of teams or part of, groups, we all behave as if we are part of a cargo cult. Let's figure this one out. Now let's deconstruct this cargo cult. What is happening is that these islanders who have not been exposed to a certain way of life, some different looking soldiers coming onto their island with a lot of technology and goodies that were not immediately available to them, must have seemed like amazing, right? They came across as gods. And when they interacted and traded with them, everything was hunky-dory. Suddenly the life experience probably was different, better for some islanders, etc. I don't know. And then they left. And then desperately the islanders wanted them back. In this desperation, they started trying to correlate something which was not there. And when you try and correlate something that was not there, you try and kind of become a little superstitious about it, right? You try to make things happen by magic. So you try to have a ritual based on that magic. So these islanders decided to imitate the behavior of these soldiers, started marching around and as if they were soldiers, believing that this will get the soldiers back. Now, if you think this is an isolated incident, and it does not bear anything on your life, think again. Let me make a different case for you. Let's build this up and let's figure out whether it is impacting our lives or not. Here's another example. And this came from Osho Rajneesh, actually, who was talking about a master who was known for his meditation. So he was so beautiful in his meditation practice. So all those people who used to, his disciples, came from far and wide. They used to sit in his temple and meditate with this master. This master had this amazing, way in which he made everybody calm and everybody decided to enjoy that meditation. What used to happen also was that the master had this beautiful little cat, kitten. The cat became bigger and bigger as the meditation thing progressed over a few months, maybe a year or 2 years. And the cat was, used to sit next to the master when the master was meditating. And everybody loved the cat. Now the master died. And everybody was now suddenly, aghast. How are they going to meditate as well when the master is gone? But they said, oh, okay, let's try to do it again. And they tried to do it again, but there was no cat there. So they said, oh, this meditation is missing something. Let's get the cat. So they got the cat and suddenly some placebo effect must have happened and everybody meditated better that day. Now, this led to a further increase in the cat being there during meditation times, leading to the fact that the cat became an integral part of this meditation practice. Now, the cat died. So, again, people who were meditating had become very attached to the cat. So, they created a small statue of the cat. Now, these guys started meditating with the cat statue. Now, imagine this goes further. These people left, new people came in, they saw this statue of a cat and they said that this is special and this is required for this meditative practice in order to reach those realms of bliss. Just see how this has progressed from a simple act of a master knowing how to meditate to this cat, to where this becomes a sort of a cult focused around the statue of a cat. Now, let's take another example. This one is of cricket, and it's a very personal example. I used to play a lot of very competitive cricket at a young age. And during that competitive nature of, you're being examined every single day when you're playing cricket. So when you step out on the ground, and especially if you're batting, you have a certain ritual that you go through. You don't know whether you're doing it. So you put your left pad first and your right pad next, and then your abdominal guard and so on and so forth. And there's a certain routine that you've set. Because I realized that all cricketers have a routine which is different from one another. But the fact is that almost everyone had a routine. Now that routine extended to wearing of rings or chains or whatever it may be. And it almost, in fact, absolutely bordered on the superstitious. And one fine day, I realized that this is actually inhibiting me from playing my natural game, because I was so dependent upon my own ritual, upon my own cargo cult behavior in order, for me to do something good on the field. Having quit the game of cricket and thinking about it in hindsight, I realized that any sport or any game is one where you start doing this very easily and very naturally. So why do we do that? The reason why most sportsmen fall prey to this is because they are now getting into a routine that they had followed when they had made a big score or they had taken a lot of wickets, especially if you're a cricketer. Now, the funny thing is that this routine has got nothing to do with their performance on the field, but they make it an integral part of it because they know that on the field, things are so uncertain and the future is so uncertain and everything can be over in the blink of an eye, so that they are trying to control what is actually not very controllable by creating a ritual that is correlation but not causation. Now ask yourself this question: how many of us actually correlate so many unnecessary things in the processes that we put in at our work or even in our life? So we actually take some process that has worked for us and we follow those steps blindly because of that cargo cult behavior, that behavior that is designed to control, what is actually inherently uncontrollable, which our mind knows, but we are trying to do that in any case. And therefore, a lot of inefficiencies creep up into the process. Actually, the process at its very initiation is very simple. Whatever it may be a marketing process, it may be a HR process, it may be something operational, it may be something to do with, you taking care of your garden if you're talking of personal life. But if you focus on the work part of it, you're working in teams, maybe the whole team starts following a particular routine. Even if the boss leaves, the new boss comes in and he's alarmed to see such an inefficient process going on. He sets up his own process. That boss leaves and you have another inefficiency driven process creeping up. This seems to be human nature, and it becomes extremely important for us to identify all of our processes and identifying all the unnecessary or inefficient parts of the process and asking ourselves, are we doing this just because it is correlated to success? And correlation is not causation. And that is the most important thing that I'd like to share with you in this episode of Smarter with Sid. Because if I look at the fact that a lot of things can be correlated but can be eliminated, the causation will increase. You will actually succeed if you get rid of the cargo cultist behavior that does creep into an individual or even at a team level. What do you guys think? I hope you like this particular episode of Smarter with Sid. The whole idea is to identify different quirks of human behavior and their impact on the landscape all around us, figure out whether it impacts trends, it impacts stuff like, marketing, sales, HR, operations, even life. The idea is to get 1% smarter. I'm getting smarter along with you and not at your expense, nor am I trying to teach from a pulpit. We're all discovering this stuff together. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you like stuff like this, well, there's much more on IVM podcast that you can go to and listen. And if you like the stuff that I'm putting out there, do go and connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And until next time then.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, Mudit Dandwate, CEO and co-founder of Dozy, tells Cyrus how he built his health tech company and survived a crocodile attack. On The Longest Constitution, Priya tells us about the history of the rights of the disabled. This started in the 1970s with the Organization of the Blind. On a show about crypto, Rohan is joined by Kash Danda, who's a founding member at Superteam DAO. They discuss whether Solana is an Ethereum killer as is commonly believed in this space. On Press Decode, Sarah and Vagda discuss the acquittal of Bishop Franco Mulakkal and whether the beautification of Purani Delhi strips it of its charm. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav tells us the surprising story of how money orders, Dehradun, and the transatlantic slave trade are all connected. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And also remember, you can check out a lot of our stuff on YouTube. Go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube and you'll get a list of all the various channels that we do have. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you so much for making this possible.
We know you love fast food,
fast fashion,
faster payment,
lightning fast internet speed.
Then why not fast information?
On Think Fast, where we discuss the latest developments in the world of technology, business, marketing, pop culture.
With a side of sarcasm and my dad jokes, not just mine.
Not mine, Varun. My jokes are funny. So join me, guys, the funnier one, Suchita Salvan, co-founder of LBB.
And me, Varun Dugirala, the co-founder of The Glitch, as we think fast only on the IVM network.
Fresh episodes out every Monday.
On the IVM app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.